have sliced Syria split in half by Cardona and Garcia. The primary groups involved in this war was the Syrian army, who were under the government of Syria and the president Assad. Then came along rebel groups. Rebel groups wanted Assad to resign his power and step down as president. There was a rebel group was the National Defense Force, who would rebuild schools and drive out any of those who wanted to hurt civilians out of major cities and villages. Then came along ISIS groups. ISIS groups were between rebels and the regiment of Assad. They wanted to conquer land and wanted Islam world domination. What firepower is being used in this war? Firepower such as airstrikes, bombings, and brutality is being used in this war against many groups and as well as civilians. There has even been suspicion of chemical weapon use in this war. The refugee crisis. The refugee crisis involves people losing their homes and prized possessions that they had left behind. There has been over 100,000 leaving Syria. Luckily, there has been countries willing to take them in, such as Europe, Britain, Turkey, and as well as the US. Then there has been camps built around Syria and Syrian borders to take these refugees in. Why should we care? We should be caring because of the massacres and mass shootings going around in this war, and it was massacres and mass shootings that had started this war in the first place. We should also be caring because of the chemical weapon use. Chemical weapons are banned under international law, but the number one suspect and user of this chemical weapon has been Assad, the president, and the Syrian government. Though it has been claimed that he would never use a chemical weapon against his own people, even though he has been using tanks, airstrikes, and bombings against them. Then comes along ISIS groups. ISIS groups are between rebels and the regiment of Assad. They torture and use brutality to gain land that has been left over because of this war and battles. They want Islam world domination and wouldn't do anything to get it.
The Syrian Civil War started on March 15, 2011, when Syrian police beat and tortured many high school students who wrote anti-government graffiti on walls. And then a day later, many Syrian citizens protested that Assad should resign his position as president, and that's when security forces shot and killed many demonstrators in the protest. The Syrian Civil War has many key events, and the first one is when Mercy Corps established the first refugee camp in late 2012. And then the second one is when Syrian government used chemical weapons against their own people in August 2013. And another one is when ISIS took over Polymer, which is a very ancient city in Syria, in May 21st, 2015. And the most recent one is when Russia started bombing ISIS-controlled territories in Syria in late August 2015. Syrian police beat these high school children in Damascus, which is the capital of Syria, and security forces shot and killed many demonstrators in the protests in Moscow, which is a city in Damascus. ISIS took over many parts of Syria, and one of the most important parts they took was Polymer, which is a city in Syria which is very ancient and full of many artifacts. They also took over many cities and towns near the Turkish and Syrian border. The Syrian War started when a few high school teenagers wrote anti-government graffiti on walls, and that is when Syrian police arrested and tortured them. And then a day later, many protested that Assad should resign, and that's when security forces shot and killed many demonstrators. And that is when people all over Syria had enough of Assad's abuse. The Syrian government is really doing a bad job on handling all this chaos. While they're wasting all their troops on fighting rebel groups, ISIS has been gaining most of Syria's land. And if the Syrian government don't change, most of Syria's land is going to be gone and belong to the Islamic terrorist group ISIS.